So hi, I'm doing the review for this stick. So I bought it with my own money. I'm not affiliated with any company or anyone, so this is just my sincere review of the product. So first of all, yeah, I know This is a most unusual type of support for the stick in the base, but I originally wanted to use a piece of wood to connect between the base of the stick and these stool legs, but yeah, I had some problems with the wood, so right now I'm using this, some clamps, some plastic to not to scratch the plate, some paper, and yeah, below there's the stool legs. But this, oh, and of course some weights, because you know you have to do some force to the extremes, but it actually works pretty well, and I use it as a side stick, as the F16 stick. But I might end up using some other system, some desk mount or something like that. But right now I'm just using it like this. Okay, so let's see all the buttons and stuff. So let's start here with this lever. So it has a click on the end. So this is usually the autopilot momentary disengage. But as you can see, this lever is actually an axis. Quite cool. There's a slight dead zone at the start, yeah, but it's pretty cool to have an axis. In World War II aircraft, some of them have the wheel brakes as a lever, so really nice touch. So then you have the pinky switch, which is the field of view expand button on the F16. Then we have here the trigger, two-stage trigger. So the first stage, you hear a click, it's the usually to fire the laser, and the second stage, second detent, is the gun. So you make a little more force and you fire the gun. Okay. So then you have here the usually nose wheel steering button. In an actual F16 it's just a button. Here it's a four-way head, okay, with a click. I only have the click mapped because yeah, I fly just the F16 anyway. So in this part now we have the weapon release button, the pickle button. Then we have this hat, four-way hat with a click, so it's the TMS or Teams button. Then you have the DMS, also a hat, four-way, click in the center. And then you have the CMS, CMS, countermeasures, so also a four-way hat with a click. Okay, so basically I don't have the clicks mapped because they're usually not, they don't exist on the actual F16. And of course we have the axis, so you know, Y and X axis. So it comes by default with the dead zone, and some people complain about the dead zone being too big. I find very controllable with default dead zone. You control it really well, but I did change to 2%. I think 2%, at least for now, is my ideal setting for the dead zone. You don't want it to be 0%, otherwise just almost breathing next to the, just setting your hand next on the stick would create some deflection, and you don't want that just by resting your hand. So 2% still gives a little bit of very small room, so I think 2% is the ideal. That's all. So the axes there have the default springs and cams. The joystick has the default springs and cams. I find it very nice, it feels great. As you can see, the springs have their spring action, obviously. And yeah, I mean, there's a progressive force that you have to do, sort of linear. The resistance increases in a linear way, I suppose, more or less. But you can buy other cams and springs that give you different feelings. But for me, this is quite good as it is. In the meantime, I finally have it on the piece of wood I was mentioning, and yeah, looks great. The weights, works fine. So, final verdict on this. Well, I tried a Thrustmaster Warthog stick that a friend of mine has, and this one is better. It's cheaper, it has more upgrades and options, it has a better feel. So this one has a spring type of feel, of action, and the Thrustmaster has a plastic gimbal, which is not ideal because it can stick in a position instead of returning to the center. You will have to put some sort of grease on the plastic for it to work properly, and with this one there's no such issue. It has springs and cams all in metal, and it will always return to the center, no problem. It has a progressive feel. Yeah, it's just a better feel as a joystick, at least for me. It has more buttons, it has more clicks in the four-way hat that the Thrustmaster doesn't. Obviously this is not exactly like an F-16, but it gives you added functionality. And it also has the lever axis, that's an analog axis, an extra axis that you can use. Other things about this, it's easy to assemble. I just took it out of the box, assemble it. Pretty easy, no problems. Just plug the grip to the base, screw, everything easy. The software is very easy to install as well and to use. It was comprehensive enough for me, and you don't even need to have it running. Actually took it to a friend's house and use it just with the drivers out of the internet. You didn't need the software. In fact, to adjust the dead zone, I did that to adjust it from the default setting to 2%, which I found the best value for me. And in my friend's house, it worked at the 2% dead zone without him having installed any software. So it actually stores those settings in the joystick itself. So great. So what else? It's very versatile. You can buy an extension for using at the center. You can buy a kit with extra springs and cams, damper kit. So if you want to use, as an helicopter stick, you probably want a damper to allow it to stay in a certain position that you leave it. There's a FSSB kit. This is very interesting because this is a force sensor kit that allows this joystick to work basically just like a real F-16 stick, because the real F-16 stick has a force sensor, so it has a little bit of movement, but the rest is a force sensor. You have to use more force to get more deflection. There's a vibration kit, something that you attach to the top of the joystick, and he has this sort of force feedback, a vibration. I guess it's nice as well. There's a Thrustmaster adapter You can actually use Trustmaster grips with the base. There's a Z-axis kit that you can use Z-axis if you don't want to use pedals. And of course there are other grips like the F-18 and the Airbus A320, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's all metal, as I had said, only the buttons are plastic. It feels very sturdy, very reliable, but let's see how it goes. Another great thing I like about this is that they didn't use those small fragile USB plugs. It has a big USB plug. I don't like USB plugs. I think they're very unreliable, very prone to bad connections. But these big ones are probably the most reliable, and so well done using that kind of plug. And yeah, let's see in about a year if it still works great. I've had it for like a month or so, and yeah, in 1 year I hope to probably do another video just to see if everything, to let you know if everything is still as good as new. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this is useful.